Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating, a place where ancient Vedic astrology and the natural world completely intertwine. We're going to explore this one sacred tree that, according to ancient wisdom, might just hold the key to unlocking two of the things we all look for, love and abundance.
You know, it's a question I think we've all asked ourselves. You feel like you're doing everything right, but maybe romance just isn't clicking, or that financial stability feels like it's always just out of reach. It can be so frustrating, right? Well, what if the answer isn't just about what we do, but it's also written up there in the stars?
So, in the world of Jyotish, or Vedic astrology, there's this one planet, Venus, known as Shukra, that's basically the cosmic manager of all the good stuff in life. We're talking about love, art, creativity, relationships, luxury, and yep, material wealth. The idea is, when Venus is happy and strong in your chart, life just tends to flow a lot more smoothly.
But what happens when Venus isn't so happy? Well, that brings us to this concept of a malefic Venus. It's when the planet's energy is somehow weakened or out of balance in your birth chart. And the ancient texts have this really poetic way of describing it. They say it can lead to diminished marital mirth, basically a lack of joy in your relationships, or it can sow seeds of scarcity. It's kind of like a cosmic roadblock to pleasure and prosperity.
Okay, so if the problem is up there with the planets, you might be thinking, what can we possibly do about it down here on Earth? Well, according to this ancient wisdom, there is absolutely a solution, and it comes in the form of a truly remarkable tree, one that's been revered for centuries as a powerful, natural remedy.
So let me introduce you to the Gular Tree, or Ficus racemosa. In Sanskrit, it's called Udumbara. Now, what's so cool and unique about this tree is how its figs grow. Unlike most fig trees you might think of, the Gular's fruits sprout directly from its trunk and its biggest branches. It's been described as looking like jewels from the god's own granary. Just beautiful.
And that really unique growth pattern, well, that's where the deep symbolism comes from, because the figs seem to appear almost out of nowhere. Without any visible blossoms, they came to represent this kind of spontaneous, divine abundance. They're seen as a gift from a heavenly source, a dispenser of life's greatest pleasures.
So we have this cosmic problem and a potential solution growing right here on Earth. But how do they actually connect? Let's get into how this incredible tree is believed to directly influence the planets themselves.
This really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the problem, a weakened Venus causing issues with relationships and money. And on the other, you have the solution, the Gular Tree. It's believed to be a direct, natural remedy that invigorates Venus's energy, specifically strengthening the parts of your chart that rule unions, that's the 7th house, and wealth, the 2nd house.
Now here's what's really interesting. While the Gular is Venus's #1 fan, its influence doesn't stop there. As you can see, it also has this wonderful harmonizing effect on Saturn, the planet of discipline, and Jupiter, the planet of wisdom and luck. So it's not a one-trick pony, it's a seriously versatile botanical ally.
And the key takeaway here is that its effects are actually super specific. It's thought to be especially powerful for people born under certain lunar mansions or nakshatras that are ruled by Venus. Those are Bharani and Purva Falguni. And of course, it's considered extra helpful for the Venus-ruled zodiac signs, Taurus and Libra. It's even used as a remedy for really specific astrological conditions that can point to challenges in marriage, like something called Pitru Dosha.
Okay, this is all so fascinating, right? But the big question is, how do you actually use this ancient wisdom? Well, that's where we get into the really practical side of things. Let's look at the specific rituals that were designed to channel the tree's powerful energy. All right, so the main ritual for Venus is done on a Friday, which is Venus's day. It all starts with planting a Gila sapling. Then you circle the tree 7 times while chanting the sacred Shukra Bij mantra, which goes Om Dram Dream Drom Sa Shukraya Nama. And to finish, there's this weekly offering of sweetened milk. All of this is believed to smooth over Venus-related issues and bring in luck for both marriage and money.
And what about those other planets we mentioned? Well, on Thursdays, that's Jupiter's day, lighting a ghee lamp under the tree is said to give a boost to things like business partnerships. You can also make a paste from its bark to wear as a tilak on your forehead, or even carry a small twig wrapped in cloth as a personal amulet to attract good alliances and just amplify that feeling of affluence.
This chart is basically a perfect little cheat sheet for everything we've just talked about. You can really see how it all fits together. See how each ritual is timed to a specific day to match up with that planet's energy? Friday for Venus to boost relationships, Thursday for Jupiter to support growth. It's just a beautifully elegant system of natural alignment. But beyond all the practical rituals and astrology, the Gular Tree holds this entire universe of spiritual meaning. This is where the story gets so much deeper, and its significance just explodes far beyond the planets.
I mean, just listen to this powerful quote from the ancient Skanda Purana. This single line tells you everything you need to know about how revered this tree is. It's not just a tree. It's seen as a living, breathing temple, a physical embodiment of the highest divine forces in Hinduism.
So what this really means is the tree is considered the earthly home of the Trimurti, the Hindu trinity. You have Brahma, the creator, living in its roots. Vishnu, the preserver of life, is in the trunk, and Shiva, the force of transformation and change, is in the branches. So to just be in the presence of a Gular tree is, in a way, to be in the presence of this entire cosmic cycle of life. And it just keeps getting deeper. It's also believed to be the home of the great sage Dr. Treya. Its milky sap is even called a Lakshmi lure, thought to attract the energy of the goddess of wealth. And in tantric practices, it's used to balance and harmonize the sacral chakra, our energy center for creativity, pleasure, and flow. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? For me, it's this really beautiful and empowering idea that our well-being, our own planetary plenitude, isn't just something that randomly happens to us. It's something that we can actively cultivate through a real, conscious, and respectful connection with the sacred parts of nature. And this quote, it just captures the ultimate promise of the Gular Tree so poetically. It connects the tree's effortless, seedless fruit to the hope for that same kind of effortless abundance and splendor in our own lives, especially in our closest relationships. It's just such a powerful and hopeful idea. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to ponder. In our modern rush for happiness, for fulfillment, could it be that the most profound answers aren't in some new technology or complicated strategy, but they're waiting for us right where they've always been, rooted in the ancient wisdom of the natural world? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.